Let's be honest. Sometimes the hardest part of going out isn't picking what to wear. It's figuring out where the party even is. And more importantly, how to get in without overpaying or falling victim to a shady promoter promising you the moon and delivering, well, nothing but a wait list. That's where Discotech comes in. On this episode of Tickets to Travel, the business of travel experiences, we sit down with Chen, co-founder and CEO of Discotech, the app that's revolutionizing how nightlife is discovered, booked, and experienced. What started as a frustrating Vegas table scam became a digital platform that now serves up access to bottle service, guest lists, and even floating nightclubs like Groove Cruises and Yacht Week. Think of it as Expedia meets Nightlife with a sprinkle of party smarter. Ian shares how Discotech grew from VIP only to a nightlife marketplace that serves millions of users. With over 1.9 million downloads and a mantra of save money, party smarter. You'll learn how Gen Z is shifting spending habits, how data is helping clubs and festivals target their ideal audiences, and why this platform is now expanding into the broader travel experience economy, including hotel and festival packages, cruise parties, and soon, maybe even sports. So if you're a travel supplier, event promoter, or brand looking to connect with a younger, experience-driven, and high-spending demographic, this is your cheat code. Download the Discotech app now on iOS or Android. Discover free guest lists, discounted tickets, VIP tables, and one-click access to the best parties in the world. Follow Tickets to Travel on Instagram, LinkedIn, and all the socials at Tix2TravelPod. Subscribe and hear more at www.tttpod.com. Let's go where the party takes us today, folks. Tickets to Travel starts now. Welcome to Tickets to Travel, the business of travel experiences. I'm your host, Mario Bedoin, and today on the pod, we have Chen from Discotech. Welcome to the pod, Ian.
Thanks for having me, Mario.
Glad you're here because I think what I've seen about Discotech is that you're a huge distributor of nightlife ticketing and now getting into experiences from what I gather, right? How did you get started in this? Were you a club kid? Did you just want to find a place where you could get every single nightlife ticket in one place? Like, how did Discotech come about?
Yeah, so yes and no. Like myself and I started Discotech with a co-founder. Neither of us had any professional ties to the nightlife industry. We were just in our late 20s going out and having a good time. The idea for Discotech hit us from the customer's perspective. We were going to Vegas with a group of our friends and we booked a table at a very prestigious club venue through a human promoter, a random guy. We show up that night, go to check in for our table, and we're told at the front desk that offer was not going to be honored and it was going to be double the price that we were quoted and that we had agreed on.
No way.
So really bad experience. We ended up paying for the bill because we were just all there. We didn't know what else we were going to do. We didn't want it to ruin our entire trip. No one felt good about it. And so we're just like, God, why isn't there a website or a mobile app that can make this easy? Why do we have to go through these shady, untrustworthy middlemen? And that was essentially there's no app currently doing this. We can be the first guys.
So you're almost like a digital promoter, every single club you could think of at this point.
So in the very beginning, we were like that. We were a way for people to book VIP tables at nightclubs, just on the app, on our website. This was 12 years ago. And over time, we went from just servicing the high-end VIP clients to servicing the masses. So we started offering affiliate ticket sales for our customers, oftentimes discounted. And then another, kind of the secret sauce behind it was actually the free stuff, the guest list. We started offering free admission to a lot of clubs and pool parties around the country. And then that's when the organic traffic really started to take off because who doesn't like free stuff?
Exactly. Yeah. The free is the lead in. And then essentially someone claims their free tickets and then they have access to paid tickets. Is that how it worked with the venues? Were they seeing you as a marketing partner?
100%. To them, we're an affiliate. Like we're a promoter. Instead of like a street guy, we're like a promoter with an app and a website. And to the customer, we certainly got them in on the free and discounted stuff. And once we build trust with them, we saw that our conversions for the higher spend, full price tickets or VIP tables started to increase as well. So we got them with the free entry. They love us for that, of course. And then we also are able to monetize on like bigger spend items down the road.
You obviously have a very large following on social media, I would guess.
We got it. We're a little late into the social media game, but I think we're somewhere in the 50,000 plus real followers on social media. Our app's been downloaded over 1.9 million times. Okay. So we definitely have just a much larger following on our mobile app, which is our core product. And our website gets like hundreds of thousands of unique visitors per month.
What I was getting at is that you guys are obviously, you're selling fun essentially to this audience. And over this time period, because how long ago was that, Ian? That was
12 years.
12 years ago. Yeah. Okay.
October 2013, I think, something like that.
Okay. That's amazing in of itself because lots of things have happened in that 12 years where I think nightlife has shifted quite a bit. I think there's been, when you look at Las Vegas, there's the onset of residencies and larger artists, bigger table numbers. There's certain experiences where I've been to and it's $40,000 to sit underneath Tiesto. Yeah. And so you guys sell this type of thing as well. What are some of the things you've seen change over that 12 years in terms of nightlife and how it's being sold?
So much has changed. So 12 years ago, clubs weren't even selling tickets. You either had a table or you showed up and paid cover at the door or you're on someone's list. The ability to buy a digital ticket didn't even exist when Discotech existed, which is why we didn't sell tickets because no one was doing it. Clubs definitely moved into the modern age, started to digitalize, started to sell things online, which enabled us to help them sell the tickets online as well. You mentioned one piece, which is the residencies. When we started Discotech, the whole EDM DJ train hadn't really fully permeated through the country yet. So we were there with the rise of EDM and how like that took over most of the nightlife scene. We were around for COVID, of course, which was like a huge game changer.
Yeah. Let me stop you there for just a second because you saw this happening because I would guess your lead market is Las Vegas.
It's our biggest market, yeah.
That would probably be a big. So when COVID happened and everything shut down, obviously your numbers went to zero.
Yeah.
But what was the strategy where you're sitting there with your leadership team and you're saying, how are we going to get people to go out and have fun again? Tired of overpriced tickets and sketchy promoters? Discotech is your personal nightlife concierge. Discover guest lists, discounted tickets, and VIP tables in cities around the world. Whether you're booking EDC in Vegas or a yacht party in Croatia, Discotech gets you in with over 1.9 million downloads and real-time push alerts for the best deals. Save money, party smarter. Download Discotech on iOS or Android today. Join the movement at Humanitix.com. Every time you buy a ticket, someone profits. At Humanitix, we believe that profits should have purpose. Our booking fees fund education, healthcare, and critical programs for those who need it most, not corporate bonuses. We're a nonprofit ticketing platform turning live events into global impact. So if you're hosting an event or just buying tickets, choose tickets for good, not greed. Join the movement at Humanitix.com.
I'll be honest, our vision of what was going to happen during COVID and what was the actual reality was like completely off. When COVID happened, we're like, okay, there's no way the government's going to shut down. Like this is going to be shut down for like 3 months, like 4 months, like
total disbelief.
Economic collapse. Like it's impossible. So we were always operating incorrectly on the assumption that things were going to open back up sooner rather than later. When it seemed like we were in it for a longer haul, we did the only thing that we really thought we could at the time, which was we tried to transition into digital streamed like events and festivals, which is what the clubs and festivals are trying to do themselves. There were no like in-person events. Their revenue was zero. Our revenue was zero. People were trying to migrate to Zoom festivals, We tried to sell that. It did not work for anybody. Long story short, it was just really hard for us. We had almost no revenue for a year and a half. We laid off more than half the team, understandably. When COVID ended, we didn't have to do anything to convince people to go back to the party.
Was there like this light at the end of the tunnel where there was a certain performance or a certain club opening that was like, you started to see the numbers start to tick back up? What was that moment?
Yeah, if I remember correctly, like Miami didn't give a shit about
Florida in general didn't care.
Yeah, like they didn't care. So Miami's nightlife remained open for most of COVID, and our Miami numbers were cruelly stellar. Never seen anything, probably never will see anything like that again, because they had they captured all the demands.
Yes.
Miami was making unbelievable amounts of money per venue, and we're like, oh my God, like people want to party. So when COVID lifted on a national basis, there was definitely a good at least 6 months of revenge party where all the clubs saw numbers that like, again, we probably will never see again, knock on wood, barring like another pandemic. And so like people were so ready to blow money on nightlife after the pandemic. And so we didn't have to do anything to convince anyone. We just had to be there for them. And we were. And so that helped us recover back from zero and get the ball rolling again. There was certainly like a slump after that momentum ended. And I think that slump continues today in the sense that we're seeing some systemic shifts with Gen Z just not drinking as much, not going out as much. So nightclubs are hurting. Like a lot of them are going out of business. It's a tough time right now for that industry. And Discotech, we've really expanded our addressable market to music festivals, which has been more robust over the last few years. And that's been a great move for us. And today we're trying to expand beyond that into just a general travel experiences category to grow the business.
Yeah, no, it makes complete sense. And obviously one of the reasons why we want to have this discussion, because that's what we look at, is that the tickets to travel, namesake of the show, is what drives the demand for all of the travel supply that's around it. And even a nightclub. So to your point of Miami, you're right. No one cared in Florida. Miami was a great nightclub city anyway. But I would venture to say, and maybe you have data to back this up, there's a ton of people from New York, a ton of people from California who are just going to Miami specifically to go to nightclubs. And of course, buying up hotel rooms in the process. Am I warm here? Did you see that number happen?
Oh, 100%. People were traveling from everywhere to go to Miami. It wasn't just like locals going out. Music festivals. They're almost always travel related, right? You have to book a ticket to go to the festival, get a hotel. So people who are attending these events for the event must also spend probably more than they have to budget even more for travel, for hotel, for all their other expenses related to it. And that we saw that kind of as like an adjacency.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And so the other piece is maybe listeners don't know this as well, but you're right. Gen Z does not drink as much. They spend more on experiences. They're not, I don't know what the word is, but they're not really beholden to the same social norms that previous generations had adhered to. And so you bring up moving into sort of travel and experiences. Have you guys worked with any travel suppliers already to create these experiences? And what have you seen that kind of works on your platform because of the type of audience that you have around nightlife?
Yeah, we do. There are a number of called producers who provide the hotel and transportation around festival. There's a company called like One and Only. There's Vibey. There's a handful of them. And so we actually partner with those companies as their affiliate because customers on Discotech are looking to get tickets and deals to the festivals. And then at the same time, we also hit them with, oh, by the way, we also have these hotel package travel deals for the same festival if you're interested.
Did you do something with Groove Cruise and others that are in this cruise space as well?
Yes. Groove Cruise, Friendship. There's a number of like travel cruises where they essentially package, it's all just one package. Like you get the room at the cruise, you get all the parties on the cruise. We're selling those as well. Yacht Week is another example. You rent the yacht, but they provide you with a party every single night.
I'm fascinated by that because one, Groove Cruise, any of these are basically floating nightclubs, floating resorts. What I think you bring to it, or what Discotech brings to it, is just a set of data, right? So you're collecting where these people are coming from, what possibly their behavior. What part does data play in the process of a customer working with Discotech?
I think for us, it's usually just like, how do we target? If you're a local nightclub or a regionalized music festival, we'll try to target people within a certain radius of that event. And of course, try to target our users based on type of music we believe that they like. There's usually like customers who are like, they're into EDM. And there are some customers, they're into hip hop. And so we use that to try to target our customers while keeping everything relevant.
The genre-based targeting is interesting to me. Is it a majority of or percentage of your audience base, like EDM? What's the spread between? Because I think that's helpful for a lot of people to understand where that targeting comes from and how they can utilize Discotech to get access to that specific demographic or audience.
Yeah, we certainly target based on demographic, although just because you like EDM doesn't mean you don't like country, for example. EDM is by far the largest segment of most of our customers. The majority we tag them as like EDM lovers. And then say a quarter of them are like hip hop. It drops pretty precipitously after number 2, but we do all kinds of genres. Again, like country, rock, pop, K-pop.
That's huge too. I mean, that's the other thing I'm getting at is I think what's helpful is you have a huge EDM database. What differentiates these type of people from other genres that a big brand could come and talk to you and say, hey, listen, I know I'm trying to find these people specifically? Because I don't think I'm a pretty old guy. I love EDM music. I love house music, but I don't go to clubs. I'm not there to see exactly who would be your target audience. And I think there's a lot of brands out there who maybe from a sponsorship perspective or activation from a travel perspective who might want to work with you. What are some of the insights that you guys have found about your audience?
Yeah. So first, in terms of like a gender demographic, we're about 55% male, 45% female. Yeah, it skews on the younger side. Most of our active users are going to be 21 to 30, early 30s for females. The range is wider and it skews a little older for the male demographic. I think in general, our users are more affluent than average. I think just when we look at what percentage use iPhone app versus the Android app, 80 to 90% are on iPhone, even though the split is much more normal in the general population. I think because iPhone users on average are more affluent, and there is a portion of our clientele that is the luxury class because these people are spending $40,000, $50,000 on a VIP table for one night, and maybe they're booking like 3 nights in a row. It's a small percentage of our total market, of our total audience, but we definitely have some bigger fish in there.
That's really interesting, I think, because when suppliers may feel like, I don't know if someone's going to buy a $10,000 trip on Discotech, for example. I think it's important to say, hey, you have that audience base there. Is that a real product that you have? Is a $50,000 table? Is there anything crazy like that we should note that
there are
you guys sell fairly regularly?
I'll be candid. Like the most expensive tables that we typically will realistically sell are in like the 50,000 per table category. There are some that are offered in like the 6-figure category. We've yet to sell one of those. I imagine if you're buying one of those, like you don't need to go through Disco, but 10K and up tables are like pretty commonplace. Even Vegas on any given night, there are tables that are like 10K. Yeah, those are not that uncommon.
That's great. That's good to know because like I said, there are travel suppliers out there who probably don't know it, but they want to target the right audience and they want to make sure that, hey, you know what? I'm going to sell a few of these because I think the other piece that from a supply/distribution perspective, suppliers want to understand how easy it is, how frictionless it is to put their supply on your platform. So if I was a tour operator like a Vibey or one of these guys who have obviously gone through a tremendous amount of work to curate this experience, how would they work with you?
Yeah. So as an affiliate, we try to make things like very easy and scalable. We typically just track our sales with an affiliate tracking link so that we get credit or a promo code. Our motto, or I guess what we say on our app and our website is save money, party smarter. Yep. So we're always trying to give some kind of perk or deal to the end user. And so if we can get like a discounted tracking link, which is like something that like Cirque du Soleil gives us, for example, or a discounted promo code, we push that to our audience and then we take it from there. Yeah, it's super simple to set up.
You track it, you invoice them, or you have a payment set up and then they pay you for that lead essentially once it closes. Again, the tickets themselves of the live event drive the travel demand. Does this mean that you might sell some hotel rooms one day?
We're selling hotel rooms as part of these travel packages already.
Got
it.
So
we're not like directly integrated, we're not like API integrated with any hotel providers, at least not yet. But we're certainly open to the idea of exploring it because, again, it's so adjacent to what we're already selling.
Yeah, I think there's probably a few people in this audience who are like, we might want to have that conversation. So what's next for Discotech other than the travel experiences stuff? Are you guys looking to go more international, or is it bigger audiences somewhere? Or are you doing any strategic deals that'll give you access to better inventory? Is there anything out there that you could talk about?
Certainly, we're always looking for international expansion opportunities. So the vast majority of our users are US based, and we do currently work with festivals and clubs in other countries. So we're in like the 3 major cities in Canada. We're in Ibiza, Bali, like the UK, places where there's a good concentration of nightlife. But it's like those international opportunities are just a small piece of what we do. We've largely been focused on the US, but we are certainly looking to just get more and more festivals, club venues, experiences on the platform. We've built it. We just need to fill it. And if we fill it, and if we can help them save money and party smarter, things work out.
I think one thing that just as you're talking and just understanding how the business works, have you ever thought about doing like a direct to fan thing with a particular DJ or an artist or promotions group and say, hey, you know what? You can cut people out of this whole equation by going directly to these audiences and being an exclusive provider of an experience or let's say a tour of a particular DJ. Would that be something you could do on the platform?
We would love to partner with artist management and help them promote their tours on Discotech. Would we want to be exclusive? Like, we certainly would. I'll be honest. Look, I don't think we have the leverage that like a Live Nation Ticketmaster does by any means. There's no risk in partnering with us. There's no sign-up fee. There's no subscription cost. We work purely on commission as an affiliate. And so why not sell tickets through us, given that we only take 10% commission, right?
Yeah, no, I think it just depends on the size of the artists, essentially. There's a certain amount of them who are not going to get that Live Nation Ticketmaster. So depending on how easy it is for you guys to take that inventory and to promote it, there's probably this level of artists, let's say like a Young Gravy or a TikTok artist, where they're looking for expanded distribution to your type of audience. I'm just wondering if that's something that's of interest to you guys.
No, it's certainly of interest. And
so
it would
for
be
you,
very
it's a supply game.
Yeah, very easy for us to onboard new inventory. In fact, like I would say the technology behind Discotech is like really optimized for scaling and bringing on more events. Done a good job over the last decade plus of building that. And now it's really just getting more inventory and then getting more end users.
It's supply and distribution.
Yeah.
And maybe there's some platform in the middle of all of that. But if you can optimize either, because you could have all the distribution in the world, but if you don't have the right supply, it's not going to convert and you're not going to have repeat business. And so that's why I think it's really interesting. You're now in a stage where you're like, I can vary the amount of supply that's going to be directly related to this type of person. You told us a story of how you created the business with your co-founder, but by trade, are you a tech guy?
So I started my career at Bain & Company as a management consultant, and then I moved into the private equity realm. So I worked as a private equity associate doing due diligence on M&A deals, New Year's, and then just made the leap into becoming the CEO of a startup.
You just follow your passion and it just made sense.
We just been messing around, figuring it out, making mistakes.
Yeah, but it's worked out, right? Like you get to do cool stuff. And also, because where I was going with that was trying to understand, because anytime I talk to a distributor now at any level, the buzzword becomes about AI. And so I was just curious, how do you answer that question? Like, how are you guys working with AI? Is it from a a back end perspective, or is it more like the suggestions on the front end? Like, how do you guys see AI coming into your business?
Currently today, we love leveraging AI as just like a tool, right? Like our engineers use it to make their lives easier. Business side of things uses AI to help us do our jobs. We certainly believe that at some point, Discotech needs to leverage this key buzzword as well to improve the experience for our end users. Yeah, again, AI is like a pretty loose term. Are we already using AI?
I think from a strategic level, like when you talk to a number of different startups and when they go to talk to VCs or other investors in this game, there's always this buzzword of how are you going to use the AI? And so liken it as everybody has a response to this. It just depends on how your teams want to initiate it. And so I'm just curious, obviously the end user experience, there'll be some layer of AI to do that. But like, how do you see it as, I guess, beneficial to the business growing?
Yeah, down the road, the most powerful use case for us would be using AI to help people party smarter. So saving them time in finding the events that they really want. Because rather than scrolling and endlessly scrolling and asking yourself, do I want that? Discotech can just be like, hey, we really think you'll like these events. And if we're accurate about it, they save time, they find these great events, and then we, of course, get higher conversion.
Personalization is really the stuff you're talking about.
Personalization, recommendations, notifications. I think that's certainly one way of doing it. And then, leveraging AI on do like better marketing, right? Creating better content and reaching a more targeted audience.
If I were to go to Discotech today, like, what do you think is the coolest experience that I could purchase? And while you're thinking about that, what's the aspirational thing? Do you think you'd want to go sell a suite at the World Cup next year?
Coolest experience? That's a tough question. There's so many cool like music festivals. And as mentioned, there's like Yacht Week, which I think is like pretty cool. Yeah. We do things in all sorts of exotic places, but I think it depends on the customer and like what they like. Honestly, for me, I'm also like a house head myself. I love electronic music. To me, it's still, and this is going to sound cookie cutter, but like EDC is still just like super cool. If someone hasn't been, it is like an amazing festival. It's really incredible. I'm not sure I've been to a festival that does it like they do.
Insomniac knows what they're doing.
Yeah.
They're doing it in Medellin, Colombia. So maybe we go.
Okay. Know? I didn't even know about that, but we can certainly talk about that. That sounds awesome.
Could you do sports? Could you do, like, I mentioned World Cup because it's coming up. There's a lot of different,
I would love to.
Yeah. Like, do you think it would resonate with your audience?
The truth is, I don't know, right? But when we went from nightlife into like music festivals, in hindsight, it seems like super obvious, but like we weren't sure if it was work.
At first, this seems crazy, but then fast forward how many years, then you're like, okay, this is a viable part of our business now.
Yeah. After festivals, we started doing like other like shows that we thought were adjacent to what we're already doing. So like comedy clubs, we're selling decently for those. We also do like theater and concert shows. Magic Mike Live in Vegas, for example. Cirque du Soleil. These are other types of live performances. Those are performing really well on Discotech. Again, we have a large audience in Vegas and they're looking for other things to do. Some of our audience is older now, maybe shifting to new things. And so we've been pleasantly surprised by these adjacencies. Now, sports, I think, is one more adjacency beyond like theater and concerts, but I can certainly see it. So yes, we would love to add like sporting events to the platform if we can get the right partnerships.
Are there other mechanisms that you guys have, not just the app? Do you have push notifications? Do you have email that is targeted? Like, how do you guys market a particular experience?
So we certainly do push notification marketing blasts, and we believe that is like the most effective tool or lever that we have. We also do email marketing blasts, but those have been like way less effective than the pushes lately. We also leverage our social media account as well. We do like ticket giveaways for our festival partners and story posts. So that's another tool as well. But for the most part, I think beyond the push notification blast, which is impactful, our users are just browsing the app and the website and discovering events for themselves. So in terms of distressed inventory, like that's core to what we do. because when clubs are just trying to fill their venue, because it's not a good look for anyone when the club is empty. It sucks for the DJ. You need audience there to help everyone have fun, build the energy. And of course, the more people there, the more drinks or food is purchased. So that's where like the Discotech guest list comes in. You sign up, you get in for free, you show up early, like everyone's a winner, including like the venue, right? They'll sell more drinks, they'll sell more concessions, even though they're letting you in for free. So that's very core to what we do. And that's what like the guest list is all about filling venues. And then discounts, right? If you have really heavily distressed inventory, give us a big discount. We'll push it out to our audience. If they buy it, great. If not, you're in the same position you were before.
No real risk for anybody. It's just another marketing touch point to a specific market.
I don't think it requires any new lift because we just treat it as an event. A music event, a sport event, it's an event. Yep. And if we can offer a discounted ticket or a free guest list, in my head, my engineering team might feel like, shut up.
You're getting us into right now.
I feel like it'd be handled the exact same way. So I don't think there would be a tech lift. And from like a sales perspective, I would love to try it.
From an affiliate perspective, you guys probably do redemption of a promo code, or do you do will call, or is there how do you typically transfer the ticket to somebody? Guest list situation.
Guest list usually works a little bit differently in the sense that it's really archaic. There's literally a list at the venue.
On a spreadsheet.
Print it out piece of paper or like a Google Doc or however they manage it. And there'll be like names on the list that will say Discotech next to it. And like people check in with their name and then check marks. Yeah, that's it. Like
they print them a ticket, get to go into Tao Beach or whatever it is.
Exactly. That's literally how it works. That's literally how it works.
You're right. A lot of this on the ticketing side, if I look at it from, let's say, hotels, they're probably 10, 20 years behind hotel connectivity in terms of, I'm going to book this hotel room on a website. It's going to go right into the system. I deal with the hotel now versus the distributor. They don't really have that on ticketing just yet, unless that's why Ticketmaster is so huge, because you buy it on Ticketmaster, it's in that system, it's in the primary, versus this external distribution end where they have to walk in and present themselves, show an ID, validate that they're the person, and they print you the ticket and you walk in and have a great time. So there's all these sort of complexity. That's why I like to have these conversations. Okay, how easy is it? What's the tracking like? How do payments work? Because it always comes down to that. It comes down to time and money. And
I think if we're doing a promo code, it's just so easy because they're just going through their existing ticketing provider. So like payment is like already solved. We're just pushing out the deal to our customers and as long as it's a compelling savings, like our customers are happy getting advertised to. Even if they don't want to go to this event, they're like, oh, Discotech's only sending me like deals. Maybe they'll send me something I do care about, so I'm not going to uninstall this app.
That's the stickiest part of your business is you've got 1.8 people with the app downloaded?
Yeah, I think we just broke through 1.9 mil.
And is a lot of that organic, or are you guys doing Google and a few other things to get people to do it?
The majority throughout all of our history has been organic.
Yeah, I get that sense. That's awesome.
And I think largely because of like the guest lists, right? Someone's like, hey, download Discotech. You can get into this club or party for free. Or, hey, download Discotech. You can save money on tickets. The whole save money, party smarter thing, we only came up with that like a year ago. We looked at what was working and we're like, okay, we need to communicate the value proposition more quickly.
What's the next level for Discotech? Not in terms of supply that you're going to get. Are you looking to get acquired? Are you looking to exit? Or are you just trying to just go global and just own this for the rest of your life?
I think in the medium to long term, exiting would be fantastic. Like we've already been doing this for 12 years. We've been doing it a really long time. I would say like in the last year, again, we had to recover from the pandemic. Things are finally stable and good again. Our mission is really just focusing on growth, growing users, growing top line, growing profitability. And we believe that as long as we can do that, good things will happen because companies are bought. They're not sold. And that's really the only thing we can control right now. So we're just trying to focus on being like a lean, mean, cash flowing machine. But yeah, we would love to sell down the road.
You're also a consultant. So you're a management consultant. You understand how all this stuff works. And so I would imagine that you're into building, you're making sure that it flies. And then you probably got 10 other ideas that you want to get going at some point.
I used to work on the buy side, like buying companies, like LBOs. So I'm definitely very familiar with how that all works. And so for us, it's just like, if we can focus on EBITDA and grow EBITDA, things are good.
Hey man, thanks for your time. Congratulations on your wedding. I'm pretty sure you had a great time out in Bali. And obviously, hopefully we'll be able to do this again soon and track your progress at Discotech.
Appreciate it, Mario. Thanks again.
Thank you. Well, there you have it. If you're in the business of selling unforgettable experiences, whether that's a hotel package, curated group travel, music festivals, or nightlife events, Discotech needs to be on your radar. Here's why. Discotech isn't just an app, it's a nightlife and experience marketplace with a super engaged user base of over 1.9 million downloads, hundreds of thousands of monthly web visitors, and push notification capabilities that actually convert. Their audience is young, affluent, and always looking for where the next party is. More importantly, how to book it fast. They're already working with suppliers in the festival travel space like Vibe and One and Only, packaging hotel stays and transportation alongside tickets. They've proven they can move high-end inventory. We're talking 10K to 50K nightclub tables, and they're open for business on everything from theater to comedy, EDM to hip-hop, and yes, even floating festivals like a Groove Cruise. If you've got a killer experience to offer, Discotech has the tech and the tribe to move it. Their platform is plug and play, affiliate friendly, and optimized for fast deployment. No ticketing overhaul required, just a link or a promo code, and they'll push it to an audience that's actively spending on experiences. So whether you're looking to move distressed inventory, drive incremental bookings, or tap into a loyal fan base of EDM heads and Gen Z travelers, Discotech may be the distribution partner for you. And remember, in this business, it's not just about where the event is, it's about who shows up. Get on the list before the guest list closes. Catch more insights at www.tttpod.com and follow at Tix2TravelPod. And once again, this has been Tickets to Travel, the business of travel experiences. I've been your host, Mario Bedoin, and everyone, party smarter. Safe travels. Attention travel and ticketing innovators. Whether you're a startup disrupting the industry or an established company ready to take your distribution strategy to the next level, Expo Travel is your ultimate partner in online travel and ticketing distribution. We specialize in helping businesses of all sizes optimize their operations, expand their reach, and unlock new revenue streams. And for startups looking to grow, we partnered with top venture capital syndicates to help you secure the funding you need to turn bold ideas into thriving businesses. From refining businesses to scaling operations and raising capital, Expo Travel is here to drive your success. Visit Expo Travel today. That's xpotravel.com for a consultation. And let's transform the way the world travels, one innovation at a time. Expo Travel, because the future of travel and ticketing starts with you.